Breaking news coming in on the Yakub Memon story. The Home Ministry is holding consultations with the Law Ministry right now. The Home Minister, in fact, skipped the cabinet meeting this evening to focus on the issue at hand. Legal opinion is being sought before the Home Minister submits his final recommendation to President Pranab Mukherjee. Remember, President Pranab Mukherjee had sought an opinion from the Ministry of Home Affairs after receiving that second mercy petition from Yakub Memon. Let's get a word from Smita Sharma, our Deputy Editor, who's with us on the phone line. Smita, interesting details there. Home Minister Rajnath Singh not attending the cabinet meeting to focus on this very crucial issue. He's also sought the opinion of the Law Ministry.
Absolutely. There are hectic consultations which are on right now between the Ministry of Home Affairs as well as, of course, Legal Affairs is what we are learning from our sources. After the Home Secretary has reached a sort of a final opinion after consultations with other Home Ministry officials and the Legal Affairs officials, will Rajnath Singh sign on it, and then that signed file will be sent back to President Pranab Mukherjee, who will ultimately then put that stamp of approval in a way on if the file is rejected or if the mercy plea is accepted, though the chances of latter still looking very slim. But remember, as far as that execution is concerned, almost a 12-hour of sort of a difference is what is required in a way between the technical procedures being completed and the execution to take place. So if the execution is slated for tomorrow morning, we can expect a final decision coming in from the President's House in another couple of hours as well. But clearly, given the fact that this is a matter which has managed to divide not just the public opinion, the public mood in the country, we also saw it dividing the apex court, initially when the two-judge bench was hearing this case. So, and then, of course, the larger bench was formed. So, perhaps the government is making sure that there is sort of no loose thread before they go ahead with the decision, which essentially one is expecting to be a political decision now at this point.
Right, Smita, stay on with us now. Yakub's brother Suleiman and Usman met him, or visited rather, Nagpur Central. Prison security arrangements have been beefed up ahead of Yakub's execution tomorrow. The execution is slated for 7 tomorrow morning. His brothers visited Nagpur Central Jail this evening. Smita Sharma, Deputy Editor, is with us on the phone line. Smita, do we know whether or not Yakub Memon's brothers were able to see him?
Well, one can only hope so, because remember, in the case of Afzal Guru, one of the biggest criticisms of the then UPA government was that even as the execution was done in an absolutely silent and a hush-hush manner, but that the family had not been informed of in time. And given the fact that these are issues that also have larger implications, these kind of hangings, you need to take into account the security situation and other, in fact, societal equations as well. So there's no clear word as far as the family's meeting time with Yakub Memon is concerned. But remember, a lot of eminent personalities, lawyers too, of course, parliamentarians, lawmakers have petitioned to President Pranab Mukherjee. We've heard the likes of Brinda Karat to KTS Tulsi come out, of course, saying that given the fact that there were mitigating circumstances, as was being pointed out in the D. Raman article, the unpublished article which a news website published only a few days back, that one must be sure that, this case, that Yakub Memon is not sent to the gallows. But what the President takes a view of it is something we'll have to wait and watch for. In President Mukherjee's term so far, he completed 3 years in office this week. In all of these 3 years, actually, if you go through his records, there are some 24 mercy pleas that have been rejected by the President. And only 2 death sentences were actually commuted to life imprisonment. One was in 2012, and the other was a death sentence that was commuted in March of this year. So, the President will, of course, abide by what the government, in fact, advises him here, unless there is an absolutely exceptional circumstance where if he wants to exercise his own discretion. But the mood, at least that we learn from President House sources, is that he will go with what the Home Ministry advises him on this.
Smita, thanks so much for that update. You're also sharing crucial details about the President's record. More than 20 mercy petitions rejected over the last 3 years. We're going to keep coming back to you for more updates. Meanwhile, security has been tightened around Nagpur Central Jail. In fact, There's tight security across Maharashtra ahead of that execution, which has been slated for 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Media crews managed to get in a word from Yakub Memmon's brother Suleiman earlier this evening after the Supreme Court dismissed all contentions that were raised by him. Let's listen into that reaction.
Please, I have a full faith in judiciary. I have a full faith in Almighty. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone.
All right, a tense few minutes there for Yakub Memmon's family. A final decision by the president expected at 8. We'll get you more details ahead on the news at 7. We'll also be joined. A news update coming in on the Yakub Memon story. Section 144 has been imposed around Nagpur Central Jail. Police parties have been asked to not allow media crews inside jail premises. Media personnel will be allowed 500 meters away from jail premises. A top-level meeting is on, which is being attended by senior Home Ministry officials. We're also, of course, being told that Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis earlier this evening held a meeting with Mumbai Police Commissioner and DGP of Maharashtra.
Now it's almost clear that Yakub Memon will be hanged tomorrow morning at Nagpur jail. I'm standing outside Nagpur jail and we can see the security has been beefed up totally. From last 1 month, the security arrangements are being taken place at the Nagpur Central Jail and entire city. We can see that there is huge police force deployed inside the court, and also outside there is QRT, that is Quick Reaction Team, is also working. Half of the members are inside the court, inside the prison, and half of the members are outside. Also, there has been tight security kept on the roads of the Nagpur. Each and every vehicle is being checked. There are naka bandis by the traffic police, and also security has been beefed up on the sensitive areas, sensitive locations of Nagpur. That includes the airport, prison area, and also the RSS headquarters, which is in Nagpur. So definitely all the preparations are done by the prison department, and till now the death warrant says that the time of the execution is 7 a.m. in the morning. That is what we are getting, and considering that the jail department has made all the preparations. With Raju Revankar, Amrita Shedge in Nagpur for India Today.
All right, preparations outside Nagpur Central Jail are complete, inside and outside. Really, Amrita Shedge, they're reporting on security arrangements that have been put into place inside and outside the prison. Media teams will also be not allowed. This is the big story we're tracking this evening. Is it the end of the road for 1993 blast convict Yakub Memon? Let's get a word from our panelist this evening. Aman Sinha, spokesperson of the BJP, is with us live from the National Capital. Also with us in our studio, Amit Khemka, senior lawyer. I want to come to you first, Amit Khemka. It's really the last 30 minutes almost suspense over whether or not Yakub Memon will be hanged tomorrow. President Pranab Mukherjee to take a final call, even as he seeks a recommendation from the Home Ministry. There's also a petition before him which has been submitted by eminent jurists, politicians and civil rights activists demanding mercy for Yakub.
See, it seems that it is end of the road for him. I don't think there would be much difference now, because everybody knows the government's view. The president is bound by government's view, and president can only differ with government probably in very, very exceptional circumstances, which I don't think there are any that way. But the question is that there are, nobody is doubting the Supreme Court's judgment. There are people who are playing politics. They have sown the seeds of poison, whatever they could have done. But still, whatever the way things are happening, the way things have happened, the way Raman's mail has come out, the questions are there. And justice should not only be done, it should seem to have been done also. So there are people who are asking questions, why those mitigating circumstances which are revealed by Raman's mail, why should they not be considered? Why should they not weigh in his favor? Why should, if he helped the agencies in collection of evidence or in getting people come back from outside, the other co-conspirators, then why should he not be given benefit of mitigating
circumstances? Another point being raised, why execute him after 20 years of keeping him in prison? I'll also get a word from Aman Sinha, BJP spokesperson, who's with us live this evening. Aman Sinha, there's also politics over Yakub Memmon's execution. We saw a statement from Asaduddin Owaisi a short while back. He's saying that if Yakub Memon is being executed, then the Mumbai attacks were actually in retaliation of the demolition of Babri Masjid. Why is punishment not being handed out to those who carried out that demolition?
Well, obviously, Mr. Owaisi has a communal agenda. He's trying to communalize the issue. And I don't want to add anything to that. People will judge for themselves the kind of politics that he's doing. But let me say, Simi, that as far as Yakub Memmon's opportunity to defend himself before the legal judicial system is concerned, he has been given maximum possible opportunities. There are 6 concurrent judgments of the concurrent courts against him, which have convicted him clearly on these terror charges. And for taking life of innocent Indian citizens, more than 257 people perished and thousands were crippled and injured. Let us not forget that those victims of terror, they also have certain rights and certain dignity. They are also, Article 21 of the Constitution also provides them a guarantee to dignified life and living. And let me say, even today, the Supreme Court heard the matter at great length, in great detail. Although after a curative is dismissed, there is no provision for any writ petition being heard. But still, Supreme Court went out of the way and gave him that opportunity. And thereafter, again, they came to the very same conclusion that there was no legal infirmity with the hearing of the curative petition or with the constitution of bench in the curative petition. There is no legal infirmity with the execution warrant which has been issued by the Tada court, and therefore I do not see any difficulty at all in capital punishment being meted out. Let me also say, Simi, that the clemency petition of Yakub Memon has twice been rejected by President and Governor both, and therefore to keep initiating fresh clemency petitions every day is going to be a clear abuse of the process of law.
All right, and Mr. Khemka, what Aman Sinha is saying, there has also been echoed by R.K. Singh, BJP MP and former Home Secretary. He said that the first mercy petition is what counts. The second one has no legal validity. And in fact, this can be adopted as a method of stalling the execution endlessly.
Of course it is done like that also, because there is hardly any case where repeated mercy petitions have helped. But the only case is that by causing delay, the Supreme Court in Shatrughan's case has actually granted them converted the death sentences into life in many cases. But there also Supreme Court was cautious in saying that it does not apply to terrorism related cases. So Supreme Court was very clear on that. The debate on the question of whether the death sentence is actually the answer or does it help, or that question will remain. That debate will go on. Whether Yakub Memon is there or not, the debate will go on.
Yeah, Aman Sinha, I want to get you into this discussion. How do you respond to that petition that's been submitted before the President by eminent jurists, politicians and civil rights activists saying that mercy should be granted to Yakub Memon, considering that he's already done 20 years in prison?
Simi, as I mentioned to you, Yakub Memon's mercy petition, clemency petition, rejected by President and Governor both. And there is no any special consideration for former
I understand that. I'm just saying, how do you respond to that petition? How do you respond to those arguments that are being put forth by the likes of Brinda Karat?
What is the argument that she's putting?
They're saying that mercy should be given to Yakub Memon, considering that it is being reported that he surrendered after the 1993 blast. Also the fact that he's already done 20 years in jail.
No, that cannot be, any ground for giving, mercy. Tomorrow somebody is going to commit any heinous crime and he will come around and say that I surrender and therefore you acquit me of everything. And let me say that itself is very disputable, and the official version as it exists on record is that he was picked up by police in Nepal. So let us not get into that. There are 6 courts which have gone into the merits of the matter. They have appreciated the evidence in detail. this matter has gone on for more than 22, 23 years, Simi. And obviously it has to come to an end at some point in time. And enough time has been given by the system, enough opportunity has been given by the system to defend himself. He has failed all that opportunity. Yakub Memon has exhausted all his legal, judicial, executive and administrative remedies which was available to him, and even much more than that was given to him. And thereafter it clearly emerged that he was one of the prime conspirators of the 92-93 serial bomb blast case, where more than 257 innocent Indians perished.
Right. But you know, Ahmed, I want to ask you, do you think Yakub Memon's execution will provide a closure to the family members of victims, considering that the mastermind of the blast, people who orchestrated that terror attack, are still at large?
Simi, could you repeat? I could not catch.
I'm saying, do you think that Yakub's execution will provide a closure to the family members of victims who died in that terror attack, considering that Dawood Ibrahim and Tiger Memon are still at large?
Simi, you know, loss of a close family member is a irreparable loss. So, but still, you know, there will be some substantive justice, you know, which they would feel, because, you know, one of the conspirators, because you would recall that all other persons who were given a capital punishment, their sentence was commuted and it was, you know, converted into life. So obviously, I think this will be, you know, a substantive justice which will be done to the victims of 92 bomb blasts, who have been suffering and have been in misery for past 23 years. And I think they will take some solace from this.
Two things.
Yes.
Number one, nobody is saying that he should be acquitted. The only petition which has been filed, whatever is the voice, the voice is that it should be converted from death sentence to life imprisonment. In fact, there is an argument that life imprisonment is a tougher punishment than death sentence. So that argument is also there. So it's not that anybody is saying that he should be acquitted or he should be set free. That is one. Second is that I don't think in our system the justice is meted out to the victims. We are not in the business of taking revenge. We are not and I don't think if you will talk to the victims or their families, they will not actually say that by the death of this man, we are going to get any solace. Yes, the whole judicial system works on the premise that this will cause a deterrent. So it is, we convict a person, we punish him only to create a deterrent, or to reform him. So in these cases where the offense is very grievous, it is very, very barbaric, we don't think that this person can be reformed. So in that case, he is punished. But the question is that whether by going for an eye for an eye or going for a head for a head, are we doing justice? Are we creating a
Mr. Khemka, do you see a pardon coming this evening for Yakub Memon? Now, we do know there is a precedence in an article written by Gopal Gandhi. In fact, it's an open letter that he's written to the president. He's also cited a precedent saying in 1997, Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, upon an appeal by Mahasweta Devi and other eminent citizens, granted reprieve to 2 boys from Andhra Pradesh, though their own mercy petitions had earlier been rejected by the president's office itself.
Yeah, so
there is precedence.
Absolutely, there is precedence, and the question is that the president, when he is considering, or the ministry for that matter, when the government is, in fact, it is the government who considers the mercy petition. It is in president's name. So the question there is not legal. Question there is social. Question there is the impact of it. The question there is the return from it. So all those circumstances, the attendant circumstances, have to be taken into consideration. So you never know when those circumstances and any mistake. I mean, it is not that the government cannot commit a mistake or the court can't commit a mistake. So on a second thought, they might find that yes, there is a factor. So it is not that second mercy petition cannot be there. It can be there, but if it is being used as a dilatory tactics, when there is no new ground, then obviously it is bad.
So you're saying there's no scope for improvement as far as this particular convict is concerned, but the argument of this being a rarest of rare crime, the fact that the 1993 Mumbai terror attack was the first major terror attack on Indian soil, and the Memon brothers have been accused of getting RDX into India and planting them all over Mumbai and orchestrating those strikes.
See, we should not forget that 140 countries in the world do not have death sentence. And those countries, quite a lot of them are running very well. In fact, in some of them, the crime rate is much lesser than in our country. So, there is a debate. Nobody can deny that question. But to relate everything with Yakub Memon, or to relate it with religion, or to relate it with the victimization of a particular section of the society, that is all humbug. When whatever people have given the petition, I believe that they have done it in their own earnestness. They feel, they are educated people, there are people from all walks of life. So they thought in their wisdom that this is the right thing for them to do. So it should be, I think it should be taken positively, except for those people who are making political points out of it, or who are trying to talk on religious lines.
Right, Mr. Khemka and Ashok Sinha, stay on with us. There's some breaking news that's coming in Mumbai. The city has been put on high alert. Mumbai police sources are telling us that they're keeping a track of social media sites. Any posts dealing with rumors are being deleted. There's an alert that's been sounded in Mumbai. We do know that security has been heightened across Maharashtra. A meeting took place this evening between Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis with the DGP of the state and Mumbai Police Commissioner, where security arrangements were discussed. Let's get a word from our Mumbai Bureau Chief Sahil Joshi, who's with us on the phone line. Sahil, important update here. Social media sites are being monitored to ensure there's no rumor mongering ahead of that crucial execution.
Absolutely, Simi, because Mumbai police is on tender. They think that because of the kind of political color which the whole episode has got, they feel that in the sensitive areas there might be some kind of communal tension. That's why they have clearly mentioned that any action by any person or a group which can incite a communal tension, strict action will be taken against that particular group. The police is already have imposed Article 144 and 135 so that there cannot be any celebration or any dharna against such kind of against tomorrow's hanging, Yakub Memon's hanging. So they are taking every precaution. They are clearly putting a lot of efforts on the social media websites, because in the past they have experienced that through social media a lot of rumor mongering happens. A lot of rumors are spread through social media, especially WhatsApp and the social websites. So police is keeping a close watch on that. Police deployment has been increased on Mumbai streets. There has been nakabandis all across Mumbai in the night.
Right.
There can be some kind of preventive detentions in Mumbai. Police is not giving much details about that.
All right.
But yes, there is a high alert in Mumbai with respect to the whole happening tomorrow in the morning.
Sahil, thanks so much for that update. A high alert in Mumbai. Security across Maharashtra has been tightened. Preparations are now complete for Yakub Memon's execution tomorrow morning in Nagpur Central Jail. Of course, the final decision will be taken by President Pranab Mukherjee, who is to decide on Yakub's second mercy plea. We'll continue tracking developments. Thanks so much, Aman Sinha and Mr. Khemka, for joining us in our studios and sharing your views with us. We'll continue tracking updates. A short break here. Lots more lineup on India Today. Do stay with us.